Hey traders, this is Chris Buss with Traders Profit Compass with your Market on Close report for Friday, October 23rd. Okay, let's get started. SPY, 2-hour chart. Some positive developments, I'd say. Nothing dramatic, but something to be aware of for next week. Although we didn't make a massive amount of progress. I think we were up a little over $1 today, but we broke out of this little downtrend channel that we had, and we were up at the top against resistance at this 346 level. So next week, Monday, if the 2-hour can close above 346, we'd have a higher high coming out of this volatility / consolidation box here, and then the door would be open for a push towards 349 in that area. Of course, any breakout or rejection here would just more or less keep it in the box, keep it in the consolidation zone, and that wouldn't be a dramatic or unexpected outcome. We may thrash around for the next 5 days, ahead of the election on not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after. So we're, about 10 days out, 6 market days. We got, 5 days next week, and then Monday, the day before the election. So if people are hesitant, that would be, not unexpected. But respect the price action. If you get a breakout here, I think you can be long against 346, because all this will then become support. So you'll have a nice line to shoot against next week at 346. If we look at the 30-minute chart, we see the same thing exploded in a little clearer view. One thing that we noted yesterday was the bullish divergences forming on the indicators, RSI and PPO, with this double bottom down here on the double tag of 341.50. You notice that, we have an equal low, but the momentum is at a much higher level, as is RSI. So that's not a buy signal in and of itself, but if you're at support and you see that, you don't have to wait for a double bottom confirmation to get long there, and that has played out nicely. You're not rich, but you're certainly pleased if you took this long and probably closed it out here. That's a nice run to the top of the box. So here we are at downtrend resistance and lateral resistance here. Monday, we're looking for a pop above 346, and then you can go up here towards 347 and then 349.50. So constructive chart, higher low right here, and then we don't have the higher high yet. That's what we're looking for. So higher low, and then next week, if we can, in the first part of Monday, get a higher high, then that will be an emerging trend reversal. So I'll have to be on watch for that. Not as much progress here on the Qs as SPY or IWM. We had a consolidation box here. It dropped below. Now we're working our way up. We do have what looks to be a bull cross forming on the PPO. You can see the descent flattening out, and the PPO line is coming up to the signal line. Getting across right here would be a positive development. And what you'd also likely see in the first part of next week, if there's follow through there, is RSI breaking above 50. And those things taken together would be constructive for price action. I think here you really need to take out 287 on the 2-hour chart to get that first higher high, to take out this high here. And then the path opens up quite a bit actually above 287. Not a ton to stop it from finding 293, and that would be a nice long to take, in my opinion, if you got that breakout above 287. Now, if you bought the low and you're holding, I mean, you're in good shape so far. You know, depending on weekend risk and all that kind of stuff. But for my money, you can buy the recapture of 285 right here, or you can wait till 287 is taken out and then go long. Here's the 30-minute chart. You see it. You know, we've got a kind of a box here and then another box here. We do have some downtrend resistance coming down from this channel. Getting above 286 would open the door to this next level at 287, and then, you know, we can proceed higher. Notice the bullish divergence here on PPO and RSI. Same deal. Notice at this low, we were at the low of momentum and RSI here. We undercut that low here for this tag of 282, yet RSI and PPO were higher. Then we came up, rejected, came back down to tag this low yet again, but yet again momentum and RSI were higher. So within this consolidation and this move lower, momentum and RSI are moving in a positive slope, positive direction, and that means there's, you know, some buying strength under the surface that wouldn't be necessarily apparent just looking at the price action. So when you get these divergences, they are supportive of a trend reversal. They're not necessarily buy signals, but they can inform your decision. You know, if you're down here at the low, that's a you know, that's an objective buy point anyways. But to see positive momentum and RSI divergences, that would give you, you know, a lot more confidence that there are good things happening under the surface. Now we just need to have follow through and an eventual breakout. IWM had a nice close to the week with the rising interest rate environment. We took a look below this 160 and it quickly reversed and recaptured and finished strong into the back half of the week. We got a bull cross at the 0 line on PPO. That's very bullish. And we had a reversal in RSI up over 50 again. So I think, I mean, by far, IWM has the strongest chart of the three. I mean, it's reaching up towards its recent highs, where SPY and the Qs are, you know, down near the lows and trying to, you know, turn the ship around. But IWM is now near the highs. So definitely some positive buying pressure there and rotation into those cyclical and value names. And it was nice to see that today, you know, heading into the weekend, they didn't pull the rug and, you know, start trying to fade that. So that was a positive development. Here's the 30-minute chart. You'll remember I had this little minor downtrend line that proved to be a problem back here. After the reversal, we came back and then we broke above it. So for Monday, the path is clear to 164. And if we were to break 164, our target is 167.50. And I think you can stay long or get long as long as, well, 162 has to really hold, but you could use 162.5 to shoot against if you want, and then just, if it breaks below, close it out and then reset down here. You don't need to watch, 50 cents evaporate on a short-term position. If you know that's your next level of support, you can just close it out and then wait. So this 164 is a big level. If you were shy down here and you didn't want to buy, you didn't trust it, if you got a breakout of 164, I think you kind of have to get long and look for that 167.50. You'd probably see some rising interest rates along with that, as a fundamental type confirmation. Notice the PPO, we had a bull cross back here, and we had talked about, at least I think we did, this potential for a bull kiss. And what that is it looks like it's gonna roll over, but then it doesn't. The PPO comes down to the signal line, gives it a little kiss on the cheek, and then moves back up higher. And the RSI is above 50 as well, so that's positive. Real nice price action in Facebook today. Here was the gap higher on Snap earnings. Consolidated gave up some of that, but then found nice support at the gap at 276.40, and then had a real strong close to the day. We talked about this morning recapturing this 278.75 would be an objective long, recapturing a level from below, and then it turned out really well, breaking out above the prior high. So what I'll do over the weekend is pull back to the daily charts and see, where our resistance and target levels are. And they, I believe Facebook reports next week as well. You may see a run into that print. So I will fine tune these targets over the weekend on the weekend report. Apple still, disappointing in the price action. If you're a bull, can't really get anything going. Drifted a little bit lower again today. Nothing impulsive. So I think the selling pressure is subsiding, but until price breaks this downtrend line, I don't think there's much to talk about as far as, getting all bulled up. If you came down here to 113 and held, I think that would be a nice objective long. I mean, you're at a well-defined low, and then, put your stop just below that level, and then look for a move higher off of this well-defined prior low that held so many times here. And, if it breaks, you just got to switch at that point if more intense selling pressure comes in. I don't have their earnings date handy. It's probably next week or the week after. So that's got to stay on the radar, but not very encouraging price action here. Tesla earnings faded. They gapped it down today. And remember, we had talked about this 410 this morning as the target, and that was your if you were trading this, that was your place to cover and reverse at a well-defined low. So from a technical perspective, this was a breakdown, and a back test. Revisiting the scene of the crime is what we call it. Come back down, hit support, back test the breakdown. Now, Monday, you're at another objective level. Break above 420, you can look for 430. Above 430 gets the chart more bullish, and you can look for 450. But if it's rejected here, then you're looking for 410 again, and with a much higher probability, if this is faded and it comes back down here a second time, there's more chance that it would fail at that point. I don't think you can front run it. I think you got to wait because it's such a defined level. But we were talking in the trading room, if 410 were to break, then you've got to go, full bear mode at that point, because then you're looking at, really not a lot in here to stop it from finding 365. I wouldn't expect it would just do that on its own. I think, you'd have to see some broader market breakdown for that to happen. So, as it stands now, we're right at this midpoint, and, you're just playing for, $10 on either side of 420. But if you're a bull, you really got to recapture this 430 to take a more positive view, get on the right side of this this consolidation box, and move up towards 450. Microsoft, I mean, they had a green day. Nothing technically has happened. We had this test of the low, look below and fail, and now it's moved up ever since. But nothing really impulsive. It's gotta get past 217 and then 218 to really get some traction towards 221, 222 next week. And again, they have earnings as well, so there will be a big catalyst coming this week in Microsoft. But while it's in this volatility box, not a lot to do other than trade high to low if you get those opportunities. And it's $4 wide, so that's a that's a worthwhile trade to take, shorting at the high and going long at the lows. Amazon had a nice close to the day, big impulsive bar. That was nice to see. But next week, it's really got to pop and hold 3,200, and then the door will be open to 3,250 and then 3,300 on the way back up. What would get me bearish is a break below 3,150 and then gap fill down below. But the good news is it popped out of this downtrend channel and has come up to the top of its box, if I were to box that in. So the stage is set. I mean, price is ready for a move next week if the buyers step in. Google, really nice price action here, guys. We had talked about this over the last couple of days, that of all the FATMAAN, FANG names, Google had looked the best. Impulsive move higher, bull flag breakout. We kind of had that one all the way, and if you've been trading it actively, I would think you have done pretty well in the last couple of days, because we had flagged this breakout of the bull flag, and even this morning had flagged this 612 area, and you got to push into the low 1630s. So that was a $20 move. And yeah, so I mean, What I'll do over the weekend is, again, go back to the daily and see where these resistance levels are. But measured move from this nice big bull flag is quite a bit higher from here. I would think, 1675, something like that. But I will double check that over the weekend and let you know. Netflix, gap down, 490 fail, found support here at 482.50 and is now back up to 490. If Monday 490 is recaptured, you've got your long with a look towards 505, and then you've got the gap. So a move above 490 gives you a real nice line to shoot against on the long side. And this price action here, that tells me the selling pressure is over. Remember what we talked about? When you see, price get real tight, sitting on a level, I think the buyers, the sellers that wanted to sell are out. So that's going to become a big level down the road to hold on any kind of down move. But now I think your bias can switch to long, especially if you break above 490. Then you've got, a clean shot to back test the breakdown at 505. And, $15 is a good trade if you get that. So, yeah, that's a nice setup heading into next week. Regional banks built on the gains. You would have liked to see a better candle here today. This spinning top, a very narrow-bodied candle with wicks on each side. There wasn't a lot of power here today, so we'll have to watch that. But all in all, very positive. Breakout above the 200, above lateral resistance, into a price void. If we got a back test of 41, breakout, back test, revisit the scene of the crime, that would be an awesome long. Very objective to try that if you were, tentative about buying a big breakout, up 5%. Let's see if it pulls back. And if we do, we'll have the 200 and lateral support to shoot against. That would be a nice long. And remember, all of the regional banks have yet to report. So that will be, this is a good ETF to hold through the earnings season. We talked about Intel, the gap down. Just digesting it here, not a lot to see. You can set that up as a bracket trade going forward, because now if price breaks back above the high of today, which was 48.67, then you're into a big gap. And if the buyers come in, you'll have a big gap to fill. Same setup that was up here. But I favor coming back to here at 47. It's too close not to check that again, in my opinion. But price is the arbiter of that. And if you got to move higher, I think you can take it if you're interested in trading Intel. Probably better places to spend your energy. I don't think Intel's going to be, like off to the races kind of thing. So, but you can decide that. I think there's money to be made. It's just probably slower money than you can find elsewhere. XRT, breakout, back test, and moving away now from the support line. I still like this one long. Southern Copper was a nice trade idea from October 21st in the trades about to happen section. We had flagged it here nice push. I mean, if you got it in the, in the 49s or even the 50s, you're up a couple bucks. Real nice big candle today. That was a nice setup. Halo was also a long idea from the 21st, getting some nice follow through here. The $5 trading range points to 35 as a target, with PPO breaking higher and RSI really strong. Tractor Supply, we flagged this morning, down at support. Support is support until and unless broken, and certainly an objective long there. If you were waiting for a breakdown, you'll have to wait a little longer, because they bought it right at support and didn't break it. So, support is support until broken. So support held, and now there's a gap to fill above. So that can be a line or an alarm that you set on the long side. If it were to break above this breakdown candle, then you're in basically about a $7 or $8 gap, and that would be a nice thing to capture if you're nimble. Snap-on Tools broke above today, but then came back. I like this one long, as long as this 52-week high holds right here at 169-ish, and then we can go higher from there. GRWG, we got a nice week out of it. Pushing towards the prior high. I'll have to fine tune that, but it looks like 22. If we can pop that, then we'll be in blue skies, and then that will have a better chance of running. I believe earnings are in the first part of November, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that. But this has been a nice trade for us so far. Reggie, what can I say? It was looking so good, and then they sold it today. So we're still up on the position. We're still in the uptrend channel, but I don't know what happened, but maybe profit taking, something else. But that was disappointing to see that big rug pull this afternoon. So let's do a quick recap. We're 6 trading days away from the election, all next week, and then the Monday before. I would not be surprised at some skittishness, not people being reluctant to go, massively risk on. But we got to trust price. If price breaks out, we can take advantage of that with some short-term bullish trades. If it looks like people are going to pile in, we can certainly do that short term, and then we can individually decide, how much risk do we want to hold into the election next week, or the week after, excuse me. Also next week we have a lot of catalysts in big cap tech. We've got all those names reporting. At least I think, I'm not sure of Apple, but I think Facebook, Microsoft, Google are set to report. I'll have to check on the other ones. I'll do that this weekend. But if they knock the cover off the ball, you may see a breakout in the Qs, or if they beat but the reaction is bearish, that will be a tell as well. Kind of like Tesla. Tesla had a decent report and they faded it. So, we'll have to watch that sentiment. And as you know, I'm not going to be holding anything, at least any individual names, through those earnings. I've learned my lesson through the years of, it's just a dart throw, and and you never know what's going to happen. And my luck has mostly been on the losing side of those trades, so I just don't do it anymore. Now, what I will do, or have done, like KRE, that's a great example. If I have a bullish view of a sector, I will find an ETF for that sector that I can hold through earnings and, participate, but not individual names. And KWeb is another example for Baba and JD and all these guys that are going to be reporting next week as well. So that's going to be, I won't say make or break for our KWeb trade, but it will have a lot to do with, Baba, JD, what are the other ones? Trip.com is one of them. There's a few other ones in there that are all set to report over the next 10 days. So that'll be important for us. But then KRE as well, all the regional banks report towards the end of the cycle. If you have a bullish view of regional banks, it's a great way to play. Then you don't have to guess at each one. But remember, the rising interest rate environment will speak more to the commentary of those reports, not the numbers, because the reporting period is already over, and the rising rates have just been in the last couple of weeks. So let's wrap it up there. I hope you had a good week of trading. I think we found some really objective levels to go long and short if you're an active trader. We had a couple of good trade ideas. Like always, we've absorbed the body blows of buying the top tick and tan, and getting stopped out on that. But all in all, I think we've been on the right side of the trade most of the time, and and we'll continue to do that and try to improve upon those entries and exits, so we have nice objective levels to go long or short depending on what we're doing, and then respecting our stops. So I hope you had a good week. If you're new to the channel and you like what you've heard, please hit the like button and the alarm bell so you get notified when I publish new content. And then over in the show notes are links to the blog site and to register for my content. And just as an aside, when you register for the content, you'll get an invite link to our trading room, and there you'll find a lot of sharp traders. It's a great place to expand your trading network, beyond the numbers, beyond the charts, finding good guys to bounce ideas off of, and big colleagues are in our community of aspiring traders. It's a great place to do that. And then you'll get all my content delivered right to your email box, so that will be nice. Also, shoot me some comments. If there's individual tickers or sectors you'd like me to cover, I am more than happy to do that. I'd be glad to do that, actually. So let me know what you're looking at, and I will certainly offer a technical opinion of the chart and what I think. So reach out and take advantage of that if you care to do so. This has been Chris Buss with Traders Profit Compass. Have a nice weekend. I will put together the weekend navigator for you and send that out. But until then, enjoy your weekend. Talk to you soon.